Good afternoon, this is Nicholas from Gandora Gaming, and I bring you all my discussion video on Libromancers, MBT's favorite deck. No, I'm kidding. But let's be real here. This archetype of rituals is probably one of the coolest artworks that we've gotten in a very long time. Not saying that Yu-Gi-Oh! Artworks have been bad, but how experimental this artwork looks, this reminds me just like the punks of how beautiful their artwork are. I'm just really happy about these artwork. They're just really, really explosive and beautiful and colorful. I want to discuss the potential that Libromancers have in the upcoming formats. Because right now, I think Libromancers and ritual decks as a whole are being slept on. Mikonkos had their 1 week in the sun when tier elements were nerfed to oblivion, and Pack or whoever that good, dueling guy did. I made one video with tier elements and the Mikonko cards. I mean, no one ever played the cards again. But I'm here to tell you that Libromancers as an engine are actually kind of insane, especially once Signet Revolution comes out, whatever that set's called, that's in May. Just because we're getting that new Libromancer spell. That Libromancer spell makes this deck even more consistent. And this deck is already a very consistent engine on getting counter traps onto play. So let's just go over what the Libromancer cards do. I know I didn't really go over the Dynamorphia cards, but I feel like I did like 7 Dynamorphia deck profiles on this channel in the past. So I feel like if you don't know what Dynamorphia does, just check out those videos. I probably only done one Libromancer video. So I'm going to go over the cards real quick. And I want to go over the cards that can be splashed with them and see where it goes from there. So first things first, we have the Libromancer Doombroker. Doombroker is an amazing card. This card's your heart and soul of the deck. Not only does he attack directly, he just shuffles a monster back in the deck. But then, he can also, once a turn, set a trap card from your deck to onto the field, which is pretty insane. All the trap cards the Libromancer play are all pretty powerful. Basically, the one you want to set is the counter trap. Basically, you return a Libromancer to hand to just auto-negate your opponent, which is kind of amazing. It does an Omni-negate, which is pretty insane. And of course, when a Libromancer returns, it triggers the little guys to summon themselves back from grave, because you reborn one of them, and then that reborn one gets its effect, which is pretty solid. We can't also forget that there's a whole bunch of ways to ritual summon on your opponent's turn, and a whole bunch of other really cool plays. But let's talk about the main deck monsters, because these monsters are kind of insane. So we have Libromancer Fire. This guy is amazing. He's a level 4. Just reveal a ritual, special summon him, add a Libromancer monster from your deck to hand. That's pretty insane. Geek Boy, which is the next card. Geek Boy is literally just a level 3 psychic, which means emergency teleport, that says, hey, reveal a ritual, special summon me, and when I'm special summoned, if off emergency teleport or any other way, I just add a Libromancer spell from your deck to hand, which is pretty insane. And what does the field spell do? Not only is it a non-once per turn field spell that allows you to ritual summon, but also on activation allows you to add a Libromancer card from your deck to hand, which is pretty insane. I think it's monster, but that's fine. They all add to each other. And now the newest spell, which I'm showing right now, basically is the newest consistency card. This card, I believe, is just kind of insane, and it does everything that Libromancers need. So I'm going to discuss its effects, which I think I've done in a previous video discussing when this card was first revealed. And then we're going to discuss the cards that can go with this archetype. That would be fantastic. Alright, so this is Libromancer Origin. This thing has 3 effects as a continuous spell, which is pretty insane. So basically, on activation, it allows you to set a Libromancer spell trap directly from the deck, which is pretty insane. The fact that it allows you just to cheat out the trap cards or the field spell is just pretty insane on its own. So it's another search card, making the deck even more consistent. It also gives an attack boost for every level of your monsters, which is great because the deck kind of does what a push for game. One of our ritual monsters does do double damage, so the fact that it's giving us an attack boost is pretty insane. And then its third effect is when we ritual summon a monster, we get to pop a spell or trap our opponent controls, which is also pretty insane. So not only is it just a great card in general for like adding cards, but it's also spot removal, which is also amazing. So now we talked about all the great things for Libromancers, what their cards do, and the potential how this is just a really consistent engine. Any ritual plus any of the monsters or any of the spells is full combo. So it's like a 2-card combo. You get the whole thing going, which is pretty insane. You get like 10 cards out of your deck. I think there's like 6 archetypes that can abuse this completely in rituals. And I want to go over that. So first things first, we have Mikanko. Now Mikanko, I think it's on everyone's radar. Just because of that video making them good in tier element, but I don't think they're that good in tier element. I think Mikanko, best chance of being meta relevant is with Libromancers. Mikanko by themselves is already a consistent deck, just because their equipped spells are kind of insane. Not only the Snatch Steal, but the fact they get special summon some from deck, and the fact they can just cheat out the Mikanko without ritual summoning, which is pretty cool. But just because the main Mikanko ritual is basically its own search card, which is pretty insane. So if you open her, she can activate her effect to reveal her to do things, which is pretty swell. I love how I just said do things, but anyway, she's pretty amazing, and she's a really cool engine on of herself. So I feel like Libromancers plus this is a pretty interesting engine. A lot of meta decks aren't equipped for like stealing your cards and like counter trapping you. It's a really interesting mechanic. I feel like this deck can do it well. So Libromancer Mikanko is a deck you need to be wary of. I think it has huge potential going forward. Another archetype that could be splashed is the Dogmaticus. Dogmaticus just got their new Zoa. I don't think enough people are testing with this card. This card is kind of insane. The fact that you just rip apart extra decks. I think the only reason why it isn't seeing more play is the fact that the best deck in the format already rips cards out of the extra deck. And all their main deck monsters are like their real boss monsters, like Fenrir and all of them. So even if you rip their extra deck apart, it's still fine because you still got to deal with Fenrir and all the other monsters. But still, I feel like this deck has huge potential, especially when it's backed up with counter traps. And of course, I can't forget my boy Punks. We are playing a Psychic deck, Geek Boy. Not to mention, the Punks level 8 can search Geek Boy, because it can search any level 3 Psychic. So we do have to mention that. There's some really cool synergies with Punks and Libromancers. I've been testing them out just for the counter trap ability, but I don't feel like it's consistent enough until that new card comes out. I think it's pretty solid, but the Punks themselves don't really have a ritual synergy. So just a whole engine with this engine. They don't really like give each other benefits. Like they do, like, hey, the Punks do all these really crazy things, but they don't like give the ritual aspect of the rituals a boost like the Dogmaticus and Mikankos do. Because you still reveal those monsters. So that's just my opinion. But that's what I would see right now, the potential for Libromancers. I think it's a pretty powerful engine on its own. And I think it has the potential for greatness. You can all tell me in the comments. Go Libromancers. Let's see how you do in the next format.